going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. Leeds 1, Tottenham 2. I'm here with Sim and Mr. Brian Daigle. The curse is over. Spurs have finally won a game before the international break. I think for the 7th time of asking or something crazy like that. But yeah, it was a hard-fought victory today at Ellen Road, as we always knew it had to be. And you know what? It's an impressive victory as well, because Leeds have, they haven't lost at home in the first 3 games of the season, and difficult games as well. They've played Bournemouth at home, they played Newcastle at home, they played Everton at home, and they drew 2 of them and beat Everton first game of the season. What did you make out of it, guys? Because I thought it was a really good win for us today.
I'm delighted. Honestly, I'm delighted, especially when you started getting nervous at 76 minutes. Then that stat came up that we hadn't conceded. You're like, what are you doing here? You're tempting fate. Like we've just been discussing. Second in the league, all right, the other teams around us hasn't played. But we go into the October international break. 1 defeat in 10, undefeated in 7. I think apart from Crystal Palace, it's the longest running undefeated streak, unless the Filth lost a game.
Lost to Liverpool.
So it's the longest undefeated streak next to Palace. Had a 2-1 lead, and we know in previous seasons we've given goals away at times like this. We stood firm, did what was needed to get the job done, didn't we? That's why it was a professional performance from us.
100%. We broke a few ducks today. Not only was it the first win before an international break in a long time, but Tell gets his first goal of the season, and Mohamed Kudus gets his first goal in Spurs colours. And Sim, you could see what it meant, not just for Tell, but for the players on the bench as well. The reaction to Tell's goal, really good finish. Yeah, it takes a good deflection, but I think he hits it really well. And he didn't get too many touches today. Wasn't involved too much, but what he did get involved with was high quality. Puts the ball in the back of the net, hits the bar as well.
Yeah, I think that'll do him the world of good. The world of good getting that first goal, because we know the struggles he's had since he's come here. We know he's been left out of the Champions League squad. He's a young player looking to prove himself, looking to find his way in the game. Signed for Tottenham because we promised him we're the best home for him, and he's going to get game time here. And obviously, for one reason or another, things haven't worked out maybe as he would liked. But we always said, in these games, obviously, he's going to have to show something more, because he's not going to have those Champions League games to fall back on and play in. And he's going to have to... These are the games he has to show what he's about, and it puts extra pressure on him. So I think we've said it before, maybe in some other games when he's been playing up front, or when he's had opportunities in the Premier League or League Cup, he's maybe been trying too hard, and he's been trying to force the issue a bit too much, because he's under pressure to prove himself in these games. So do him the world of good just to relieve that pressure a bit, get that opening goal, get a bit of love, get a bit of praise. People start talking about him positively, with a negative kind of talk about him. Is he good enough? Have we wasted the money? All this stuff. That talk can die down a bit, just at least for a few weeks. And look, hopefully next game we're going to be in the Premier League against Villa. Maybe he'll get another start, and he's got to keep building on this. That's for sure. I still think maybe left wing. I'd like to see him a bit more in that position, but credit to him, played up front today, the position he struggled in, and he got his goal, and he could have had another one when he hit the bar as well. I wouldn't say it was like a game where he was really involved, but just was effective. When he was involved, he took his chance.
And I think we all just got to be very delighted for him. You could see, like, every time he's been on the pitch, he's just trying so hard, sometimes a bit too hard at times. And I felt like, that wasn't really the case today. I don't think he was running around like a headless chicken. He wasn't, the detriment to the team that he has been potentially at times. And he was clinical, put his chance away really, really well. But I guess the talk of the game and the man of the match has got to go to Mohamed Kudus today. Goal and an assist. First goal for Tottenham Hotspur. A constant threat out on that right-hand side. I mean, it's coming a bit of a regularity where, a lot comes from that side of the pitch where Mohamed Kudus is, and there's so much individual quality that he shows week in, week out. I mean, fullbacks, left-backs have got to be absolutely frightened of the sight of coming up against Kudus week in, week out.
Yeah, I mean, what you got to add of this as well, with Kudus coming in, it just shows how badly we needed that area solved, wasn't it? We've kind of got that problem with the left wing now.
Yeah.
But the right wing was a major necessity to get someone that can deliver quality, that can produce quality, and bring the attributes that Kudus has done. There was a lot of rumours with right wingers that might have been coming in, or others, Semenyo or whatever, but I'll tell you what, we struck gold with Kudus, hasn't he? Because today what I loved about him even more is sometimes he hasn't. The first 2 games he was brilliant defensively to help Porro, wasn't he? And then that kind of left his game recently, but he was back doing that as well today. But going forward, like you said, he is a left winger's nightmare, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is.
And he's getting into more goal scoring positions. I think we saw that against Wolves where he hit the bar, had that goal offside. On this occasion, he had that chance which he should be doing better with, but he missed. He then ends up getting a goal, cutting inside, being more confident, getting the shot off quickly. I was saying when we were doing the watch, I was like, when I saw him come to, I was like, just shoot, don't even look at anyone else, because if he goes by himself, he can be unstoppable. And he did that, cut across the goalkeeper, scored the goal, got an assist for Matisse Tell's goals run. What I like about that assist is gets the ball, and I've been quite critical of him on occasion, maybe not releasing the ball quick enough. Yet within a split second of receiving the ball, plays a through ball to Tell, gets him running into that space, and obviously Tell buries it, so he gets an assist. So I think Kudus is getting better and better. 6 out of 6 successful dribbles today. In most other games, it's been like 10 dribbles attempted and like 5 completed or something. So the fact he literally, every time he went on a dribble today, he completed it, which is mad. That's unheard of. And his dribbling ability is something we just haven't seen in this football club probably in a long time, or maybe even ever. He is one of the best dribblers in the league, best dribbler for me in the Premier League. He's been absolutely fantastic. And look, if all Frank has to do his job, we know how good he is at dribbling. We know how effective he can be when he's taking on his fullback. If Frank can just getting regular goals and assists like he has been this season, there's literally no stopping him, man. And being one of the best wingers in the league.
Add to that as well that hopefully after the international, for once I actually think an international break has come at a good time because it gives an extra 2 weeks for Solanke, Mawani, because obviously we've been saying, all right, Tell did his job today, but we need that strike force, don't we? So the 2 weeks out, I don't know how far Solanke is with his operation, but hopefully Mawani at least will be fit and ready to go when we start again against Villa.
Yeah, he said Mwani's over his dead leg, so it's just about him getting up to speed and getting up to match fitness. And these 2 weeks will be, brilliant for him to get that under his belt. But yeah, I think it really was a good, hard-fought victory. And I think a lot of people were saying, oh, we need to see more ball progression, we need to see more attacking play. And I think we did see that today. We didn't have it all our own way for the whole game, but I think Javi in the 10, first start for him in the 10 today. And I thought we saw some good moments in there. Obviously, I think we want to see more from him. We want to see him more dominate in that area of the park. We want to see him take more shots, and we want to see him be even more creative than he was today. But I think it was a good starting block for him today.
Yeah, I think I liked him much more in the 10 than I did seeing him out wide. I think he looks a lot more comfortable there. There was some frustrating moments when he tries that stupid Rabona for no reason, when he was a simple through ball to play in, I think it was Odebear or Udogie. So those are things he's just got to... Look, you've got to be effective. It's one thing being flashy, but if it's a simple ball and you're trying a Rabona, you've got to think, why am I doing that? Yep. I don't mind doing it if it's an effective move, but for no reason, and you muck up the pass, that's something you've got to work on. But he does add those moments of magic. He did that little dink pass over to Porro. He played a really nice outside the boot pass to Odebear, which helped a chance. So he was involved in quite a lot of our good moves. Obviously, you still want to see more of him. I still feel like he's finding his way and getting used to the Premier League. He's still adjusting. I think you can see that there's some moments where does he take too long on the ball? Does he get out-muscled? He gets too close to players who are just out-muscling him. So I think there are definitely things he's working on, which is obviously going to happen. He's a new team, new league, young player. These are things he's just got to get used to the pace of the Premier League, right? Yep. It's not going to happen in his first few games. I think he's doing okay considering his first few games.
But that's what it comes down to, I think, is the pace of the league. Because I feel sometimes when he gets in those areas, he just slows it down a bit too much. And we know, he's got it in him to play at a fast tempo. And I just feel like when he gets to those dangerous moments, albeit he does have the quality like that chip ball over to Porro, which was fantastic, where Porro's got to be doing better from. But I think he just slows it down a bit too much, and he needs to up his physicality as well.
I think if you look at it, we've had slight players in the past. You look at Aaron Lennon, you look at Jermaine Defoe, you look at Luka Modric.
Yeah.
Obviously, Lennon and Defoe had Premier League experience, so they were up to speed. But Modric, I think we do harp a lot on about physicality, but it showed with the duels. But these players that we've had have navigated around it and made it and breezed through the Premier League, haven't they, those players? So Xavi, I think a lot more of it is, yes, physicality needs to improve, but I think give him till Christmas and he'll be firing on all cylinders, having got used to the Premier League, and then we'll see the true quality of the man.
But, you know, you are seeing that quality come through now, or even already, like, even in these short spurts, and when I think he like kind of drifts in and out the game, but with the quality he does show, it's clear to see that he's got something that no one else in this squad available to us has.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think we look better with him in that position. Just him picking up the positions makes a difference. Him being available. You know, when we're in moments where we're pouring forward and he's just picking up those little pockets of space and he's being found. It just asks different questions of their defence. It draws players out. And I think that positioning already makes a difference to our attack and we look a bit more threatening. I think today, going forward, when you compare his performance to Boda, definitely the second half against Wolves, I think it was a lot better. I think that attacking-wise, there were a lot more moves being put together. We looked a lot more fluid. I think a doggy makes a world of difference on the left. It just does. I know Spencer's great, but a doggy just makes such a massive difference, I think, on the left-hand side. The way he just gets into the box, he's so ruthless. He's so energetic when he's so single-minded when we're pouring down the left, he's getting into that box and he's got that physicality just to bulldoze his way in there, and he's consistently making those runs. Like he has no hesitation. I feel like when Spence gets in those areas, he's a bit hesitant. Do I drive into the box or do I cut inside on my stronger foot? A doggy, you know, he's going there every time, and he's almost unstoppable because of his pace and power. And again, on a number of occasions today, getting in those positions, and he probably should have had an assist for Kudus, and a number of times he just flashed it across the face of goal. We should have had an assist, or someone should have been one on the end of it. So I think he adds a really good dynamic on the left-hand side. I think Javi in the middle improves us, although I want to see more from him. And so I'm seeing a bit more fluidity and a bit more unpredictability from our attack in the way it's kind of set up at the moment. Whereas last few weeks, I feel like, or a lot of the season, it's kind of be like, give it to Kudus and that's what you can do, and that's it. And I think there was a bit of an element of that today, but I thought we were a bit more unpredictable, especially when the doggies are on the left-hand side.
Look, they say it, don't they? They say it, never fall in love with a lone player. But João Palhinha, man, as every game progresses, I fall in love with this guy even more. Even when he gets that booking, you're thinking, you know, we had that discussion on the watch along being like, should we take him off, should we not? And I was thinking, you can't take him off because he just adds so much for us in the middle of the park. And, you know, he did well to toe the line after the yellow card and not get another one, because he's so aggressive. He's involved in every duel. He wins every tackle. He's so strong. I mean, I love this guy so much.
Oh, mate, you say don't fall in love, I'm already smitten. I'm already, honestly, when we went to watch Wolves, when you get to see him live as well, it's just, when you get to watch him away from the ball and see how he spots danger, he is an elite number 6.
Yeah,
he is elite. He may not be right up there with the greatest in being able to distribute the ball all the time. Some of his passing today was a little sloppy, but his attention to spotting danger and just being there and put his body on the line, and just, I forgot how much of an art tackling was until he came in, and you just see him do it with ease. He, like we said before the game, he is the easiest no-brainer I think this club has had for a loan since, like we were saying, Kulusevski probably, or whatever. He is just a dream to have in your team.
But you talk about players that kind of dominate in the middle of the park, and I feel like every time he's on the pitch, maybe bar 1 or 2 performances, I feel like he's really dominating. And I'm not talking about dominating in terms of dictating the tempo of the play, but dominating in a physical way, where, you know, last year it was way too easy for teams just to play through us and through the middle, and he's put a stop to that.
Yeah, and we know he's such an unbelievable duel winner. He wins so many tackles, so many recoveries. He's so good at that. He's elite at that, one of the best in Europe at that. So he's added that to our game. He's added that to our midfield, and we're so much stronger and better for it. And it just makes us a lot more solid, a lot more difficult to play through. And look, it's not perfect. I still think there are a lot to work on in that double pivot between Bentancur and Palhinha. I think there was some good stuff today, but I still think there's a lot to be worked on. I think I'm still not sure if in these games, and if today proves anything, that we shouldn't be playing that pivot in these kind of games like we were saying before. But Palhinha himself, another really strong performance, and I think he's been fantastic ever since he's come. He's even chipped in with goals as well, on top of everything he has.
Quality goals as well.
Like he's been phenomenal. He's been phenomenal, and his start to life is exactly what we'd hope. I think he's given us exactly what we thought he would and we hoped he would.
Yeah.
And it's been brilliant.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, if you ask me right now, do I want to take up that option? Yeah, of course I do. I think he's been absolutely brilliant. Our best player in the midfield by a landslide, I think, this season. And, you know, he's close to being up there for our player of the season so far, in my opinion.
But in terms of in general today, like, it wasn't the best performance. I think we probably deserved it.
I think we did enough to get the job done.
We got the job done. I think Frank did manage the game pretty well, because I think the first half, Leeds had some moments where we gained control of the game. We got the lead. We should have made it 2-0, and we looked like we were in the tendency, and then we let a sloppy goal away, and we let Leeds back in the game. But we reacted well to it second half. We got them in the dressing room. I thought we started the second half pretty well. We got the goal again. And then once we got in the lead, I thought we managed the game fairly well. Yes, I know Leeds had a couple of moments late on. I think Pirro had forced a save out of Vicario. But other than that, they were kept to a minimum. You know, he moved, he brought on Sarr. He brought on Danso, went to a back three. Just understood the state of the game, limited leads, made sure shutting up shop. We're not going to concede any more goals. Yes, the kind of threat on the counter, and we didn't really look like scoring a third ourselves. But I think we kept Leeds at arm's length, and I think he managed the game pretty well. In difficult circumstances, a team with, the atmosphere was roaring, pouring down with rain against a team who are unbeaten in a long time at home and unbeaten this season in the Premier League at home. It all set up for us to drop points, really. And to go through those circumstances, manage the game as he did. He did a great job, Frank, and he got us 3 points. So massive credit to him. I think the game management was really, really good from him. But I still think he'll look at this game and think there's still so much stuff we got to work on.
Yeah, look, there's always going to be a lot that we need to work on, particularly like 6 or 7 games into the Premier League campaign with a new manager, with a lot of new players as well. Of course, there's a lot of growth in this team, but how great is that we're sitting here second in the league, albeit everyone else has to play, yeah, fine. But we're sitting here second in the league. We've only lost 1 game all season, and we're talking about there's still major growth in this team yet to come.
And I think you've got to look at it as well. That's now 3 wins from 3 when he's gone 4-2-3-1. I think that had a very big impact in today's game. But like you said, he's meant to be a slow starter. We've got players out that are still needing to come back. I still don't think he has played with his strongest 11 once since he's been at the club due to injuries and what have you. It's a very good place to be sitting right now. Like we said, when I said to you, don't worry, we've got this, when you said you're getting nervous, this time last season or previous season, I'm like, oh my God, can the referee just block? How quick? We're able to see games out. You were saying a couple of times the shape when we're the last 5-10 minutes that everyone is back in position. We are structurally very, very strong now. We have got a lot of positives, and this game is without set pieces.
Yeah.
So things that people are saying, wait a minute, we're just a set piece team. Today wasn't. Every time there's something evolving. And this is just the beginning of what Frank and his management team are going to do. I think we're on for very, very, very good times at Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, we do have to talk about Vicario, though, because obviously it was his mistake for the goal to let Leeds back in the game, which I thought, was completely against the run of play. And, if Leeds don't score, if Vicario doesn't make that mistake at that moment in time, I think we probably go on to a much more comfortable victory. He kind of parries it out to Okafor that's right there. I mean, you've got to get it as far wide as possible, and he just plays it right into the path of Okafor, which was very frustrating. And now that's quite a few games in a row now where Vicario's goalkeeping has been a lot to be questioned about. But to be fair to Vicario, he did make some big saves in the game to keep us in it late on.
Yeah, redeemed himself a bit. Good save from Calvert-Lewin with his feet. That was a big moment. And obviously right at the end, Pirro has a good effort from the edge of the area, and he one-handed tips it wide. So fair play for not letting that moment kind of affect him. I feel like I don't think this mistake was maybe as bad as some of the other ones he's made recently, but it's still definitely one he'll look back on thinking, could I have done better there? Could I have pushed it wider? Could I have not put it right in front of the goal so it's an easy tap-in, essentially? And that's kind of the second time he's done that. Did against Wolves, where it was, again, just left an easy tap-in for the opposition. So he's done it again today. So disappointing. I mean, you got to give him a bit of grace that the shot did take a deflection. So that makes it a little bit harder. But if you look at the shot, I mean, it was hard to deal with, but it wasn't like the deflection was a major deflection. It was like it gave it a little bit of loft, but still he should have been dealing with it. It was just weak.
If you're going to parry it, don't parry it into the 6-yard box. I mean, that's just simple goalkeeping, isn't it? Isn't that what you're learnt as a goalkeeper from a very young age?
Yeah, but it's all reaction time, and when the ball takes a bit of a deflection, it changes how you got to react even quicker to it. But obviously, he has to parry. He couldn't catch it.
Yeah.
So he had no option but to parry it. But of course, he shouldn't have. He spilled it really. He spilled it because it kind of. He saved it with both arms, but it hit like the lower part of his arm, and then it took another touch. And I think on another day maybe he gathers that into his body, but he kind of spills to the Okafor, and obviously it equalised. Lucky it didn't cost us today. And he did redeem himself in the second half. So I think probably just about did enough to keep his place, but definitely the question marks are there at the moment.
Well, he did that as well with the free kick at the beginning, where he's in no man's land.
And also he had that punch where he got the foul and it wasn't a foul and he got lucky with it.
So I think the good thing is, and it happened under our, just thankfully we've got Kinski now, so there is a very good goalkeeper. And you look at it, people were saying, and including myself, last season his distribution is incredible, night and day over Vicario, but his shot stopping was questionable. But he only had that one save to make at Doncaster, didn't he? And it was an incredible save, no matter what. It's good to see when you look at it now, there is competition for places and the conversation. Because I felt under Lloris, we never signed a goalkeeper to compete with him. Yeah. It's just there is a goalkeeper there to compete with him, and if he continues to make these issues, because I think he'll start against Villa, Vicario, but we've got Newcastle, and Kinski will start that game, won't he, in the Carabao Cup, and Kinski has another good performance, and Vicario still hasn't picked up his game or got these errors out of his system. Then there's a genuine conversation to have.
What do you make out of Porro today, talking of Porro? Because I felt like uncharacteristically his ball playing and crossing and everything like that was uncharacteristically poor today.
I think in the second half it was a much better performance from him. First half it was a little bit suspect, but you know what? It's his defensive duties that have improved, and it showed again today with his defending. He's become such a solid defender from someone that didn't think he could defend to begin with when he first came. I think what he does there is brilliant. But he, like you said, going forward where he offers genuine quality with his right foot, it had been a bit lacking. But I think that improved in the second half as well. Should have done better with the Simmons bit of magic. But I think it was a very strong second half performance from Porro.
Yeah, better. I think today he'll look back and think he'll be disappointed with himself with some of his passing and sloppiness. And defensively, first half as well, wasn't having an easy time of it. But I did think he recovered much better in the second half.
Yeah. So look, all in all, brilliant to get the win, and it was so important to get the win today, going into the international break like we keep mentioning. But just off the back of the last two Premier League games, we've got 2 draws. Wolves at home, you've got to be winning. Coming back from 2-0 down at Brighton, where they scored against a runner play, and we probably should have taken 3 points from that game as well. So
and today was another test we actually haven't had, which is getting a lead and losing it.
Yeah.
And then regaining it. And that's I believe first time this season we've taken the lead and conceded, I think.
Yeah. And we came back and won the game. Came back and won the game. So we can actually have 2 weeks now of the international break, not mulling over a loss and sit back and relax like we can over the rest of this weekend as well. Because we're the first Premier League team to play this weekend, and we can sit back, watch the rest.
Game on Friday, but.
Okay, second, all right, second. And we can sit back with our feet up and watch the rest of the results roll in as we sit in second in the league. But yeah, big up to you, Dale. Thanks for coming on today.
Worries. I'm going to go watch the fan show from the other way. But I will say, I can see my Canadian brother. I can see Nate. So big up to Nate, brother. Big up.
But yeah, that is your instant match reaction, people.